वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Dear brothers and sisters, you know that in the last post I started talking about Gurbani composed by Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. I discussed Baramaha, which is very well known composition of the fifth Guru. His most notable composition is Sukhmani Sahib. The unique feature of this composition is that it is the lengthiest composition of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, covering 34 pages starting from Ang 262 to 296. This composition is one of the most widely recited Banis by the devotees. It was composed around 1602-1603 AD at a place marked on the bank of Ramsar Pool in the city of Amritsar. The word Sukhmani, as rendered into English as per the Encyclopedia of Sikhism, means consoler of the mind. Those who have translated this composition into English have also given titles like Psalm of Peace or Song of Peace. Thus, it is such a Bani which brings the blissful peace to those who recite it. This becomes clear from the Rahau couplet of this composition, which appears after the first Kori of the first Aspan. There are 24 Aspadis, each having 8 stanzas, and each Aspadi is preceded by a slok, that is couplet. It means that there are 24 Aspadis and 24 slokas. As in most of the Shabad of Gurbani, there is a Rahau verse which gives the central idea of the Shabad. In this composition, the slok works as a Rahau, meaning thereby that the idea contained in the Aspadi following the slok is summed up in this slok. The only Rahau in the Aspadi is a part of the second pada of the first Aspadi. The composition starts with the first slok, that is an invocation. That is an invocation to the Supreme Being. Guruji bows to the Lord Creator, the primal Guru and the true Guru. The first Aspadi dwells upon the advantages of remembering God, that is Prabh Ka Simran. So after the first slok, that is Al Gure Name, Jugal Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Shri Gurudeve Name, the first Aspadi starts and it enumerates those benefits which we get by remembering the Lord, that is Prabh Ka Simran. The 2 lines of Rahau also find a place in this Aspadi. These lines provide the central point of the whole composition, that is, the name of the God that gives peace of mind abides in the mind of the devotee, meaning thereby that the devotees with their love and act of remembrance of God are blessed with the true and eternal happiness, that is Sukhmani, rendered into English as consoler and peace giver of the mind. The Rahau reads as Sukhmani Sukh Amrit Prabnam Pagat Jana Ke Man Visram. The second Aspadi talks of those emphasizes that none except God can be helpful and giver of bounties. The Hindus believed that Kamdhenu cow and Parja tree were such things which could give everything to a person. But according to Guruji, the name of the Lord alone is Kamdhenu as well as Parja. The obstacle which comes on our way to the remembrance of God is our home, that is ego. In the fourth Aspadi, Guruji mentioned such acts which smack of our ego. For example, there are certain rituals associated with the Jain religion. Jain mark, which mentioned so many rituals for torturing our body, are of no avail. God cannot be obtained by such like action, as I mentioned in the third Aspadi, but only by prayer of God. Such actions related to Jain religion are mentioned like this: Nyoli karam kare bhuvasan, Jain marg sanjam or sadhan, nimak nimak kar shrir katave, to bhi home mail na jave. Which says, whatever torture you give to your body, it's of no avail, because our dirt of ego attached to our mind still remains even after doing all these things. So what is important is the prayer to God. we must pray that the giver of everything must remain in our heart. He must dwell in our heart. So Guruji says in the fourth Aspari that prayer is the best thing. That is why the last stanza of the fourth Aspari, Tum Thakar, Tum Payar Das, Yupin Satyari Ras, is sort of prayer. And these lines we generally recite when we do Ardas after a congregation. In the fifth and the sixth Aspari, Guruji mentioned the power of the Lord. He is almighty, he can do anything. His order, his command, his hukam pervades everywhere. So we have only to obey his command, obey his order, with which the entire Srishti, that is the universe, is functioning. From 7th to 9th Aspari, we find mention of such person who are near to God, that is, who love God, who remember Him, who meditate on His name, and imbibe such virtues which bring them nearer to God. These Aspari mention, the seventh Aspari, first of all, mention Sa. The eighth Aspari mentioned Brahmjnani, and the ninth Aspari mentioned Jivan Mukt. All these persons are in fact our Satyars, as Guru Nanak Dev Ji has mentioned in Japji Sahib that we must become Satya. So all these persons are synonym for Satya. That is why Guruji, talking about them, say that they are just godly. It means that there is not much difference between them. For example, for Sadh, Guruji says, Sar ki soba sal banai, Nanak Sadh Prabhu Ped na pai. Similarly, Brahmjnani ka sagal akar, Brahmjnani aap nirankar. So, when he talks of Jivan Mukt in the ninth Aspari, so he mentioned those traits which all the persons who are near to God possess. They are godly, they possess godly quality. So for Jivan Mukt, he says, the first requirement is that Prabhu ki agya atam hitave, Jivan Mukt soi kahave, that is, who obeys the hukam of God, who remains happy, who remains stable in all situations. Whatever God does, he accepts it. That is why he further says, for him, Taisa harak, Taisa usso, Sara anand, nahi viyog, Taisa swaran, Taisi usmati, Taisa amrit, Taisi bikhati, Taisa man, Taisa abhiman, Taisa rang, Taisa rajan, Jovar tai sai durat, Nanak, opurak ye Jivan Mukt. It means that such a person doesn't make any difference between gold and the dust. For him, if happiness comes or if some sorrow comes, he remains stable. He always remains in contemplation of God. He is always grateful to Him. He always remembers Him. For him, nothing is good or bad. Only God's name is the best thing with which he remains attached. The 12th Aspari, the further Aspari mentions such things which we must avoid. For example, the 12th Aspari, the slope, starting this Aspari say, Sukhi base maskiniya aap nivar tale, bade bade ankariyan nanak gar kare. That is, those who are proud, they are consumed, but those who are humble and polite, they remain happy and cheerful. This Aspari, 12th Aspari, mentioned so many various things for which we are proud of. We are proud of our wealth, we are proud of our land, we are proud of our beauty. So Guru says that all these things for which we are proud of are useless. Only God's name is helpful because God gives us everything in life. I will be further talking about this Aspari and the subsequent Asparis in my next post. Till that I take your leave. Kindly like this post and subscribe to this channel so that we may continue mentioning the special features, the unique features of our religion. Thank you very much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.